All right, hey guys, hope you are well today. So I'm going to doing this little video stroke podcast combo off the cuff. I think I might do a few more of these sort of bonus podcasts or bonus recordings for the podcast, particularly when I feel like there's something valuable to share. So for me, we're in obviously a difficult time at the moment. A lot of people are sort of struggling both physically, mentally and emotionally. And so having strategies to cope with that, I think is really important. Obviously, we know how important exercise is physically to keep us in shape and keep the weight off, but also obviously keeping your mental state in check. But I want to talk a little bit about specifically how you're managing your mental state. So Sunday, Monday were probably my personal lowest days of I think we're on like day 55 now since our gym closed anyway. I think lockdown happened a few days later. And I don't really know why. I sort of suddenly got hit by I think we had some more news that are kind of we're going to be closed for a lot longer than I thought we might be. So that probably didn't help in terms of, being upbeat and being positive, being my normal positive self. But what I decided to do is yesterday I decided on Monday night I just need a complete kind of mindset reset, okay, like a mental break from all the incoming information. And I just felt like, if you've ever done like a detox for your body nutritionally, I felt like I needed one for my mind. Otherwise I was just gonna go crazy and scream. And so I just did that, had a chat with one of my coaches and decided to do absolutely nothing in terms of communication, and had a full-on tech detox, media detox, so completely off social media. I think I sent one WhatsApp message in the morning to our challenge group, and then that was me done for the day. So what did I do? What helped? Because it really did help. Today is Wednesday, I'm only one day later, and it just goes to show what the difference one good quality self-care day can make on your physical, mental and emotional capacity, because that is really what we're talking about. We all have capacity. We all have a certain amount of capacity of resilience to emotional stress, mental stress, physical stress. Obviously, the fitter you are physically, the more weights you can lift and the further you can run, okay? From a mental, emotional capacity, it's no different. Some people's tolerance levels are quite high. I feel like mine are pretty high normally, which is why it sort of took me by surprise that I just really found it. I got sort of quite emotional. Just found everything was just a bit overwhelming and too much, and that's okay, because we're all human, and everyone has their capacity limit. I think the key, and what I've always been quite good at, particularly in the last sort of 5, 6, 7 years in doing lots and lots of personal development, is having the self-awareness to know when that point comes. Could have gone the other way, and this is why I felt I wanted to do this quick video podcast, because could have gone the other way, could have kind of really gone and not did anything positive, and got worse, got more kind of like stuck in a rut, not wanting to do anything, feeling quite emotional, and potentially starting eating rubbish food and not talking to anyone, and so, but instead having a full day reset just makes all the difference, because it means that I'm replenished my capacity. I feel like I've gone from having 1%, when you have like 1% left on your battery, that was how I kind of felt on Monday night. I felt like, it was just going to go. And then today I feel like I'm back to about 95, 92% battery. Okay. And I really put that down to being really focused on what my outcome was of the reset day, to replenish, to allow my mind just to relax. So what did I do? Okay, well, first thing I did is I came in here. This is my little man cave getaway. It's our home office. And we've got like a little door here that goes through to a storeroom where I've got some exercise equipment. So the first thing I did is I wanted to get my body moving. So I did a little 10-minute workout in there. And that kind of just got the blood pumping around the body, got me a little bit awake, got me moving. And I did something I haven't done in ages. I did a 10-minute meditation using Sam Harris's app, Waking Up, which is free. There's a free version. You can upgrade if you want, but it's really good. There's some really good trainings in there, and he just takes you through some real simple meditations. So I came out of that. Then I just read for about half an hour, 30, 40 minutes. I read a couple of books that I was just kind of been really interested in reading. Just put some nice relaxing music on, and just really enjoyed the reading process, and that was great. And so what I'm trying to explain here is how I went through just completely going through a recovery mode and really working on my mental state. So coming out of the breath work and the meditation, I felt really re-energized. Then I went and got a coffee because I started to feel good. Just after that was about an hour of sort of some self-care work, doing some exercise, doing some meditation. Then I got a coffee, had my coffee, and then I spent about an hour just working through. I did a bit of journaling, kind of asking myself some important questions, reminding myself of what my core values are, remind myself of what's important. Basically putting everything into perspective. Journaling is a really good thing to do when you are kind of struggling. So the combination of doing some exercise to boost the feel-good dopamine hormones, and then you combine in that with some breath work or some meditation that just calms the mind down and kind of centers you, so that you're, let's face it, when we're ultra stressed, and overwhelmed, then our amygdala, our sort of monkey brain is kicking off more than normal, and we're being quite reactive. So that's one of the things that meditation and what breath work does, is it helps us kind of become a bit more centered and enable us to be in the present moment, enable us to think in the PFC of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, so that we can think a bit more logically. And then after that, what did I do after that? I did some homeschooling with the kids. I felt a lot more present in that. And weirdly, I think because of my state being a lot more calm and a lot more kind of engaged, my little girl was really good. She had one of the best days homeschooling, really focused, really enjoying it. And I think that's something to remember as parents as well, is your state of mind and your behaviors and your reactiveness. You don't realize it, but that it certainly, your kids feed off of it. If you're shouting at them, which I have done quite a lot lately, if you're getting angry, if you're not in a good place, if you're stressed and you're a bit emotional, then don't expect them not to feed off any of that. So it's something to be really aware of, and it's really important to obviously kick that in the bud as soon as that starts to happen. And so we had a really good time homeschooling, played some games with the kids afterwards, and then I had to go to the gym to get my Wi-Fi sorted out. So that was quite nice, just to get out of the house and have to go and do something externally. And just just coming home and spending a bit of time, family time, and managing to get through the whole day without seeing any news, seeing any social media. This is one thing that I think yesterday taught me, particularly at the moment. I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure there's millions of others that, get themselves caught up with scrolling their social and going down the rabbit holes of conversations that really, if your emotional state or your emotional capacity was anywhere like mine, where you got like 5% left, then do you really want to be seeing arguments, on social media? Everyone has an opinion about it right now, right? Should the kids go back to school? Should they not go back to school? Should we come out of lockdown? Should we not? What's the government's plans? At the end of the day, there's very little we can control, and you have to ask the value-based question, which is how much value am I actually getting from this? So I think I pretty much decided already that I'm actually gonna put into my diary when I'm gonna give myself, and it sounds a little bit rigid, but I'm gonna have a go just the rest of the week anyway, just to systemize my sort of time when I spend on social media. Most of my time is spent on social media is serving my clients, so that's part of the business. But the problem with that is I often get derailed and sidetracked by going to post something in my group, and then someone else has posted something online, and then I get sidetracked down the rabbit hole like everyone else. So yeah, I'm going to plan on just checking in 2, maybe 3 times a day. And because, for me, social media, there's pluses and there's minuses. The pluses are we get to connect with our loved ones and our friends through this difficult time. I get to share valuable content like this. Hopefully it's valuable to you. I get to consume valuable content as well, because it's not all bad. There's some really good stuff online. It's just knowing your mental, emotional capacity and knowing when do I need a reset? When do I need to have less information? There's lots of studies that have been shown, and they differ a lot in stats, but a lot of studies show that we have roughly 15 to 25,000 thoughts a day. 15 to 25,000, there's quite a big difference there, but somewhere in between. Let's say it's 20,000 a day to take a means average. That's a lot of thoughts to handle. So if you are constantly, scrolling through, social media as well, and you're adding the information overload on top of all those thoughts that you'd normally have, it's a lot to deal with, right? And so again, like I said, just knowing what your tipping point is, knowing when to press the reset button, and having a plan for it. So I didn't just say, right, I didn't be reactive about it on Monday night. I knew I was reaching a point where my capacity was about to be gone. And so I thought, right, I need a plan. I need to see what will I do? What will I try out? And so I sort of set myself a specific intention for the following day. And I knew that would include some exercise, some meditation, doing some breath work, a little bit of reading time, a little bit of just self-care time. And you could do the same for yourself. What would be a reset day? What would that consist of? What would that look like? If you could, obviously we all have, and you might have to, I had a chat with my wife about it. I said, look, I just need a day. Can I hide away for a couple of hours in the morning? Obviously, you have to talk to your partner, because there's always going to be things that you're still going to have to do. But something to really think about. So if you are one of those people, if you were a little bit like I was on Monday, struggling a little bit mentally, emotionally, feeling like everything's kind of getting on top of you a little bit, and you just need a complete break. You need a reset. Okay, just like you'd reset your phone or you'd reset a technical item. We can do that with ourselves, with our brain and body. Don't feel like it's a negative. Because that's how I felt initially. I thought, oh, and because taking one day off seems like quite a lot to me. It's really not when you think about it, but it felt like quite a big deal. It made me realize how much time I do spend, on social, and it's something that I think want to reduce a little bit. But hopefully that helps. If you are thinking about having a reset day, then I'd highly recommend it. Because even if you think like it might help, what have you got to lose by not just experimenting with it? If you feel 25% better in yourself, physically, emotionally, and mentally, it's probably worth it, right? Because it's not just about feeling better the next day like I do today. My guess is, as a result, I'm going to have a much better week for the rest of this week. So that's 1 day investment of myself to have the rest of the week good outcome. Seems like a good investment. So hopefully you found that useful. Hopefully you found that valuable. If you're listening to this back on the Mastering You podcast, then thanks for tuning in. Make sure you have subscribed to the podcast. It's something that I'm really passionate about building and growing. I've got a whole list of guests lined up for the podcast from all different facets of mastery, from mindset to nutrition, fitness, etc., etc. So I'm really excited about that. So definitely stay tuned on the podcast. Make sure that you subscribe. Feel free to share it with anyone else. And meanwhile, go have a reset, guys. Okay, take care.